I'm now going to select this beast, nearly 6 million. I'm going to hit this, G again, and I'm going to go bottom, high, and I'm going to export that. This is going to take a little while because it might take a few minutes. But just be patient, it will go. If Maya ever says in Task Manager is not responding or blah blah blah, usually it is responding and will respond if you let it sit long enough. Depends on how patient you are. But a lot of times it just has to do with lack of RAM available. But if it says not responding, generally it's trying to gather resources other than RAM. So, using hard drives, available hard drive as space for processing. So significantly slower, but it will usually power through if you just give it enough time. Okay, so that looks like that's export, so we're good there. So now I can hide this again. Now I can take the lid. Just make sure these guys are correct. So I do have the pivot correct there. And it looks like the pivot's there. Right. Again, if these pivots if they're not occupying the same space and the pivot's not in the origin, which is basically the best way to remember, it needs to just be in the same space. If it's not, they're going to be skewed and offset, you're not going to get the bake you want. So I'm just going to hit G again, and I'm going to go lid high. Okay. And that one looks like it went pretty quick. So I can go ahead and just hide all those. So I can hide these. After I export it, you could go ahead and delete the high poly model altogether if you want. When you turn in your project, for sure delete the high poly model from your scene. I don't need a scene that has 100 megs in it or something like that. I don't need to see the high poly. I made it. I know what it looks like.
So I know you talked about earlier, but it's now that we're looking at this new one, it looks like you're using the high poly that's actually completely finished.
Yep.
So should we download that and get the
Yeah, like I mentioned, I would recommend downloading it. You're just going to get a better bake from it than the unfinished one.
So should we import it into here and then get it set up?
Yeah, you can do it either way. You could delete the high poly that you currently have and just import the new one. It should fill the same space. Or you could open up a new scene and import into that, and then take your low and import into that, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the finished high poly model again is FBX. It's the FBX one. It's high poly bake 05 or whatever it's called. It's like 10 megs. It's in the class files.
It still takes forever to load.
Okay. Okay, so again, you can delete those once you're done. So I'm gonna grab this. I don't need this anymore. I'm just gonna nuke it. I'm gonna nuke it.
So sorry, it was an FBX?
Yep.
So it's gotta be this one.
And delete unused layers.
Oh.
So now I just have my low poly stuff in the scene. I don't even need this anymore. I'm fine. So here's the stuff I'm left with. Okay, just my low poly things. I could go ahead and resave this if I wanted to. Notice now it's trying to put me in exports. I'm just going to go and put this back to where it goes. Lap, low, 01B for baked will be fine.